Yo guys, it's your boy Hybrid Hit Squad back again with another football video. I know I just left you with the Thomas Tuchel video. I'm back again with another one, and this video is going to be talking about why Chelsea have hired Graham Potter and why it may or may not be a good signing for them. So obviously Chelsea have sacked manager Thomas Tuchel. Now they are hiring or have hired Graham Potter and they've signed him to a big long contract, and he was the Brighton manager. Let's have a look at what he'd done at Brighton. So just looking at it now, he was there for 3 full seasons and was there for the start of this season. So I won't count much of this season. I'll just count the three previous seasons that he was there in full. So his first season he finished 15th. Okay. Second season finished 16th, and his most recent season he finished 9th, which is the highest Brighton have ever finished in the league in the past 20 years. In the Premier League, that is. So finishing 9th is a huge achievement for a team like Brighton. When reality is, their expectation previously was just to stay in the league. When they finished 9th for the first when they finished 9th, the previous 4 seasons, the highest finish was 15th. So, they were a relegation battle team that were happy to just be in the league. Graham Potter had a great season last season, but does that merit a move to one of the biggest clubs in the world, from Brighton to Chelsea? I'm not sure if it does. Graham Potter's been given a lot of credit for keeping a team on a shoestring budget in the Premier League, and that requires, so much hard work, and it is a big, big, big achievement to be able to do what he's done with this team. Being able to keep them in the team when they've been battling injuries, haven't spent that much money, or hardly anything compared to these other teams, and constantly having their best players linked to other teams. We saw it this summer as well, with Basuma and Cucurella leaving for however much they left for, and they really didn't even spend that much money in replacing them, really. So he's done a great job at Brighton. In his time at Brighton, he only won over 10 games in a season once. That was in his last season. So in terms of managing big clubs, he hasn't got that experience. And I think he may come undone there. Because managing a team like Brighton with hardly any expectations, when the expectation is just to stay in the league, then you're battling a team that spent hundreds of millions, is at least expecting to finish, really, if you're spending that much money, you should be expecting to win the league, but they need to at least be competing. The expectations are a lot different, and there's a lot more that could go wrong in a big team like this. A lot more bigger stars, a lot more bigger egos that Graham Potter's never had to deal with egos before. Not in this way, You've got players at Brighton on 20, 30, 40,000 a year. You've got players at Chelsea on 10 times that. When a week, sorry, did I say 30,000 a year? That's a normal wage, but no, 30,000 a week, 40,000 a week. You've got players at Chelsea on 10 times that. So he's gonna have that issue. But in terms of fitting a profile for the team, in many ways he does. He's an English manager. He's got Premier League experience, and he's younger than typical managers, but not necessarily a spring chicken, but still a fairly young manager with Premier League experience, and he's English. So, and he plays a nice style of football that what is regarded by football pundits and football media as a nice style of football. I really don't take to that too much. I think that's really a superficial way of looking at football. Because if sport is an art form, then what's a good way of playing? To some, the Brexit ball, Burnley, Sean Dyche way of playing was good football. It was effective. It kept the team similar to Brighton on a shoestring budget in the Premier League for years. But then some would say Pep Guardiola, tiki-taka, ball dominance, total football is good football also. So it really is in the eye of the beholder personally, but to the Chelsea owners likely and to football media, Graham Potter plays a nice style of football. He's English, Premier League experience, and is a young manager. That's probably what's gotten him the job, to be honest. There's nothing wrong with that at all, to be quite frank. There's nothing wrong with that. He's done a really good job in cultivating a culture at that team, at Brighton, where he's been able to keep this team on a shoestring budget in the Premier League. So what I think his team will look like, let's go into what I think his team will look like at Chelsea. I think he'll likely play 3-5-2 with Mendy in goal, new signing Koulibaly and new signing Wesley Fofana as two centre backs, and then Thiago Silva also as centre back. Also, I think that could potentially turn into a really solid back three, but it really does depend. Koulibaly's not getting any younger. Thiago Silva's not getting any younger. Fofana's not been amazing at Leicester recently. He started off really well, but recently hasn't been playing that well. Same with Leicester as a team, as a whole, to be honest. They haven't been playing that well recently, and the clock is ticking on Brendan Rodgers 100%, but that's another topic for another video for sure. I imagine the midfield will be Jorginho and Kovacic. Then on the wing, as wing backs, Cucurella and Reece James. Two really talented wing backs they've got there. Reece James, who can do it all. Cucurella, really physically good, quick on the ball, can pass the ball. So, you know, a really good signing. 50 million, bit steep, but also was from Brighton, so Graham Potter will be familiar with him. And then also, I imagine they'll play a 3 midfield with, you know, Jorginho, Kovacic deeper, and then Mason Mount as an attacking midfielder. He'll be really important to what I think Graham Potter will want to do in making those runs into the box and connecting the play from those wing backs, defenders, and deep line midfielders. And then up front, I'm assuming he'll play Aubameyang and Sterling, and maybe even have Mount as maybe a bit of a false 9. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that from Graham Potter, but Aubameyang and Sterling acting as, you know, inverted wingers, or inside forwards rather. I think Aubameyang's done his best work off the left, Sterling's done his best work off the right. They're both similar in the way that they're really quick and able to get into really good positions to make finishes. So it could be a really interesting duo seeing them two, you know. They'll definitely stretch defences, and then when you've got the delivery of Reece James and Cucurella as well, who can both float a ball in, Jorginho, who can move the ball, you know, they present a lot of options offensively that could really cause a lot of teams defensively a lot of issues, especially if Aubameyang can reach a goal scoring form he had at the start of Arsenal, and then even what he reached more recently at Barcelona, and if Sterling can reach his goal scoring form of a few seasons ago at Man City when he was off the right, you know, as I say, I think he played his best football when he's on the right, and when they had play like Sane on the left and then Aguero up front. Maybe Aubameyang can kind of do that Sane role and attack defences similarly, and Sterling can attack defences similarly on his right side also. So this team could cause a lot of problems. It's a shame that they haven't been doing that well recently under Thomas Tuchel, but they're a team that spent a lot of money, brought in a lot of talented players, and realistically, if they're not challenging for a league this season, next season, you know, something's really gone wrong there. Because this team's capable. You know, I'm looking at these players now. You know, there's talented players from top to bottom, but it really depends if Graham Potter can get that out of them consistently on a week-to-week basis, because nowadays that's what it costs to win a Premier League. You need to be world-class week in, week out, because teams like City, teams like Liverpool, they're shown over these years that there's no let-up in winning the Premier League. You need to be on it 38 games a season, and if you're not, then you're going to get eaten, and you're not going to compete for that league. You know, that's the reality. You can finish top 4, you can finish top 6, but you're not going to be competing for that league. Chelsea are fighting a bit of an uphill battle now, because they haven't had a great start to the season, but again, when I say when you've got players that talented, then you shouldn't have to worry, but you know, it's football, and owners do worry, and that's why it's probably what's caused them to make that change from Tuchel to Graham Potter. They've worried a bit and thought, if we don't sort this out, well, who knows who we'll be, but they've got Graham Potter in now. They've given him a big contract, so I'm assuming they're going to give him some time to work it out. But again, it's Chelsea. They could very easily just hire him, and in a year he'd be gone. But let's see. I think Graham Potter could potentially be a good fit from what the owners look like they want to do with this team. But really and truly, only time will tell. So, guys, that's it from me. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like. If you don't want to miss out any more videos like this, make sure to subscribe. And if you think your friends would like a video like this, make sure to share it. And if you've got any comments on what you think my next video should be, make sure to leave a comment and let me know. Alright guys, it's been Highbury Hit Squad. I'm out. Peace.